in on YouTube. My hair is still super crazy, but let's see how today goes. So waiting for some folks to jump on. Again, if you are just joining, we are calling real estate agents on their aged listings. I kept my same search from yesterday, and we will be calling them asking if their clients would be open to potentially doing creative finance deals with us, and see where that takes us. Creative finance is very foreign to a lot of agents. So I do take some slight offense when we're overly critical of whether or not an agent is open-minded or not, especially in this day and age where people are constantly bamboozling people with methods and stuff that like people just don't know about, right? And so imagine talking about NFTs like 10 years ago, completely foreign, and everything would sound like a scam. So anywho, yes, creative finance has been around for a really long time, but the powers that be, especially when you're an agent, it's in our best interest to not know about all these ways. I do want to give a shout out to Brent Daniels, who is having an event for agents. So if you're a licensed agent, I want to call out Mr. Brent Daniels. I believe he's having some sort of training for agents. So, which is really funny. I just saw it on his, if you're not in the wholesale hotline Facebook group, that's where he posted it. And on there, he mentioned how he knows that if you're a real estate agent and you likely read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you're really looking forward to potentially, and mind you, this is that Facebook group, so he knows his audience, that you were really looking forward to potentially growing into the investor space. And boy, was he talking directly at me. That's exactly what happened to me. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My husband's cousin, Jessica, who is an amazing, amazing person, has her real estate license, and she was helping us buying a house. And she's like, Ingrid, you could totally be in real estate. And so she gave me the encouragement to go get my license, because I believe she got hers when she was a teacher. So it was kind of cool. Hey, Vince, nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. German, I got Bugsy, Swayam, Steven, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy. We actually will have a special guest today at 5 p.m. Arizona time, or around thereabouts. We closed on one of our flips today. Thank goodness we were able to help a veteran qualify for, he qualified himself, but we took care of a few things that were called out during our inspection that to help him with his qualification of his VA loan. There's always some level of satisfaction when you can create a product that helps folks in whatever space they're in. And for this VA, obviously, like I'm obviously an agent, and people are always very cautious of VA loans and FHA loans because inspections are a little bit more critical. And so if there's any findings on those types of inspections, you have to address them, or you put at risk for that person to be able to close that type of loan. Hey, Devante, I talked to your sister. She probably has an amazing deal out in San Jose, and I am going to connect her with a potential buyer. So stay tuned on that. That was a potential Morby method, which, so anyways, back to the deal at Florence. I'm excited to kind of break down some of the things we learned. We quite honestly, and like I told you guys, like we did our first virtual flip, our first flip in total this past year. We closed it in February. And since then, we've been working on close to 8 other properties. So it's like, it felt like, we went like, oh, we got our first one, and then and so there was still a lot to learn, especially when you take on so many flips so quickly. Our strategy was to primarily squad up with people who had experience. But at the time that we put this one together, we felt we could take it. Like we could, well, we'll talk a little bit about that. What roles did each of us have and how our role was going to be limited, and then it wasn't. So, but that's okay. I mean, it was, a all for one for all scenario. And we made it work because in this industry, in this business, you can't sit there with your pride. You gotta figure, if you gotta go roll up your sleeves and go fix problems, if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. And then you learn from that and you figure out, okay, how can I systematize this? So anywho, Devante loves to hear it. You're the best, Ingryd. Thank you so much. Aw, I hope we can make it work. We'll see what happens. No, we're definitely going to work towards it. Tim, title companies near me don't seem willing to do title searches unless there's a bona fide buyer. I don't think I'll pass title as owner. Is this common? I don't understand what you're saying. Title companies near me don't seem, like you don't do title searches outside of having an escrow. I don't understand, Tim. Do you want to come on Instagram with me and we can talk through your situation request, and let's see if maybe we could talk it out. I would love to help whatever it is you're kind of going through. Just a friendly reminder, I didn't copy the link. If anybody wants to do me a favor and copy the link, I'll pin your comment to the reason I'm doing this every day this week, and I might have to cut it off a little earlier today because I have to go pick up my daughter from soccer practice, but we are raising funds for Latinos Contra Cancer. Latinos Contra Cancer is a group associated with the American Cancer Society, and they raise money to help the underserved Latino community in helping them with resources and opportunities for to help them through getting through their cancer diagnosis. So they'll help with resources like if they need to find a place to stay near where they're getting treatment, things like that. So really a great cause. All right, we're gonna have Tim, who had a question that I didn't understand, and because technology, he's gonna join us, I think. I did hit accept. There we go. Hey, Tim. How are you?
Thanks for good yourself.
Good. Tim, where are you located?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Are you in SubTo? Just curious. No. Okay. Well, you have to meet Dan Quijano. I want to say he's out there with you.
Really?
Yeah, he's in SubTo. He's a big SubTo leader. He's amazing. He's got one of those radio voices. Like when you hear him, you're like, are you sure you're not in like broadcasting somehow? Because anyway, so tell me, what is your situation?
I'm current, well, at least I should be the property owner for a house that I currently occupy, and I was going to try to flip it, but I don't think I have the skills necessary right now, so I'd rather just like pass it on to somebody who is subject to or was a wholesale plan just because I know the industry a little bit. But to be honest, I don't think I'll pass title because when I try to do my title searches, the parcel looks like it was separated a while ago, and I don't think it was very clearly marked. And the house next door to me is foreclosed on as a reverse mortgage and the bank owns it. And so they try to take the house from me with a property management company instead of private title. And so yeah, I would just feel bad to pass this beast on to somebody else if I actually know what was going on. I would like to buy the property next to me and sell this acre with 2 properties.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. You own a property, or you thought you owned a property, and when you went to go search for it, the title search, it revealed that you may not actually own it?
Correct.
Oh, wow. That one's a doozy.
I paid property taxes on it for the past 10 years. So like,
how did you acquire the property?
It was a quit claim deed for my grandfather.
Okay. Interesting. And do you know how you were able? Well, I'm not a lawyer. I definitely don't do. I'm not an expert in the space in which you're having trouble with. But is it worth hiring a lawyer to help you get that lined up?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I had some hesitation about how much it actually costs, but $3 to $5 grand would be worth putting into. I mean, it's $100,000 ARV for sure.
Yeah, sounds like it might be worth the effort. Actually, I would get a hold of Dan Quijano. I bet you he has some resources out there, and maybe some pool with some folks who have some legal advice, and maybe they're able to help you if you have all your paperwork that says, "Hey, this is my property. Here's how it all went down." I don't have a lot of experience with quick claim deeds, but when that happens, you do put some risk at like whether or not it's insurable. So just because it's not being done in the capacity of a title insurance actually doing it, a title company doing it for you. So that was a toughie. But I can send you Dan's info, and maybe you guys can see if you can work some sort of agreement out. Cool. All right. Yeah. So how about you? So what do you do? It looks like you might be in a warehouse. I can't tell.
Yeah, I currently my 9 to 5 job is running a coffee company.
I'm sorry. What?
I run a coffee company.
Oh, a coffee company. Well, I'm Colombian. I love coffee. They used to put coffee in my bottle when I was little.
Our company actually comes from Contra in Contra, and it's called the American Coffee Company. And grandfather's farm, he started it two generations ago. We buy coffee from the current head roaster, Contra's company. So it's been in the family for 3 generations.
Wow, that's really amazing. I'm from Cali, which is it's the Valley of the Cauca down there. Yeah, super cool. Well, Tim, are there any other questions you might have? I don't know if I solved your problem, but hopefully I can connect you with somebody who can help you.
That was awesome. I appreciate you for bringing me on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for coming on. All right. Cool. As I was mentioning, if you're considering donating to Latinos Contra Cancer, Tim is trying to find his button, I'm sure. I don't know what to tell you on the button. The Latinos Contra Cancer would love your funds. I'm trying to get to $1,000 this week. And if I get to $1,000 this week, we will post an entry fee calculator so that you guys can figure out whether or not your deal is actually a deal, and whether or not you have all the numbers you need to figure out whether or not your deal is a deal. And then also post the letter of intent template, which we call an LOI. And so then you'll have that available to you. If we get at least $1,000 worth of fundraising, and I really appreciate everybody that's donated so far. So far, we've made it to, I think it was $916 at last I checked. Let me check one more again. Oh, we're at $940.70. I don't understand the cent stuff, but I appreciate everybody. Every penny counts. Again, this week's goal is, like anything, take your big goals and break them up and see like if by the time, so my goal is then how can I raise about $1,000 a week and see about getting to that 5,000 number. Hey, Chris, how are you? Hope everything is good. I got to reach out to you and get a workout schedule because I need to get back on it. All right, guys. So you can donate. So I didn't copy it today. So if anybody feels they can leave and come back, I will pin your comment. But in my bio on Instagram, there's a Linktree link. It's like the link, the website. When you click on it, the very first link available is for Latinos Contra Cancer, and it's where you donate. So I usually pin it at the bottom of my comments. I don't even know if you can actually click on it from this view. I think you still need to go to my bio and click on it, but I do appreciate anybody who donates. And like I said, we're gonna have a special guest today. We did a flip, a manufactured home, so would love to drop some gems for you guys on what you should know about flipping a manufactured home. I've sold them in my past as an agent, but this is the first time I had to flip a manufactured home as an agent. And so it's important for all of you. Oh, thank you so much, Mimi. Like, what are some of the things you absolutely should consider when you're flipping a manufactured home? And so my special guest tonight is one of my partners on this, and I'm just waiting for him to get home, and we'll talk about it, because I think it was kind of nice to have some people come on here and spotlight what they're doing, how we can help them in their business, and then like how can we work together, and yeah, just add value. Again, I want these lives to add value to your business so that we can grow together. I really appreciate that, Mimi. I hope you saw that I've pinned your comment. So thank you for putting that on there. And I'm also on YouTube, trying to grow my YouTube channel. I am live on there. So if you would prefer a YouTube experience, go for it. But if not, that's okay too. I have my Instagram here, my YouTube there. Sometimes you'll see me go up and down with my eyes. So anywho. All right, well, let's get started calling agents. I left the same filter I had up yesterday just to make life easier, and plus nobody touched my computer today, so I was able to keep everything as is. All right, what do we have here? All kitchen appliances convey. Well, thank you, including fridge, but all need to be replaced. Has a non-burning electric fireplace. Okay, well then. I always find it funny for stuff like that. All right, so keypad. This time my phone hopefully works. Just heard my husband leave, so and yeah, he took the SIM card out and put it back in, and then it worked. So there you go. Hey Gabe, oh my gosh, have you guys seen Gabe's Instagram? He dropped some Spanish today. I didn't get to watch it all, but I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Spanish and English Instagram. Orale. All right, I'm just kidding. I took it a little too far. Let's see. Ooh, 123 days. That's how long this property has been on the market. I think it's a seller finance opportunity. I don't see a mortgage assigned. Oh, there might be a HELOC though. I'm not calling too late, right? Yeah, it's not even 5.
Hi, this is John. Sorry I missed your call. Please leave a message and I will call you back as soon as I can. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, John. I am calling about your property on Hackamore. If you can, please give me a call back. My phone number is 480-227-8974. Again, 480-227-8974. Would love to talk to you about an opportunity and putting an offer on it. Thanks. Have a good one. All right. Oh, and you gave me the haha with the J. That's my favorite. Gotta speak both languages. Por supuesto, tenemos que hablar las dos lenguas. ¿Por qué no? Hey, Gabe, are you available? Do you want to go on Instagram with me? You let me know, boy, and I'll approve it. This is cute. It's got a pool. Interesting. It's like a half-done house. That's why. Interesting. All right. All right, here we go. Enid. This property has been on the market for 75 days. Somebody just made a donation. My phone just told me. That's super cool. Yes, I'll request to join. Awesome sauce. Okay, I'm going to call this agent after Gabe comes on. All right, let's see here. I've accepted Gabe to come on, who is also we call them unicorn agents, where they understand investing and they're licensed. Hi, Gabe. We see your popcorn ceiling, or something's going on over there. Part of the valley are you in? I think he's struggling for Wi-Fi or signal, I meant to say. All right. See if Gabe comes on. Oh, that's not you? Oh, Kaka. It says I have no requests. Okay. Well, come and ask me. I think somebody accidentally did that. And I just accepted them. I didn't even read who it was. Oh my gosh. Well, you got like a screen here, this, and you got a phone, microphone, and you're 40. So, like, what are you gonna do? What? You did? Awesome. Oh my gosh, that means I have homework tonight. So cool. You helped me get to 1,000. I super appreciate that. Breaking news. We've made it to $1,000 with Latinos Contra Cancer. I very much appreciate all of your donations. Since we've made it to 1,000 on day 3 of fundraising, we will be posting, and by we, I really mean me, posting the letter of intent template and the entry calculator in my link tree. So you can use those as resources, totally free now because we got to the $1,000 of fundraising. And remember, if you've been kicking butt in wholesaling, you might want to consider donating so you mitigate your tax liability, because it is a tax deductible donation. So really appreciate everybody's help. There's no option for me. What? Let me see. Let me see if I can. I'll just request to join. I just sent it to you, Gabe. I don't know what's happening, but I just requested. Hola, pues, amigo, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Así, bueno. Where are you at?
I'm actually in a lobby where, like, Tempe Town Lake area.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just sometimes I like to work out of the lobby.
Yeah, I think changing your environment is a really, like, it's so funny. I have 2 desks in my office, and sometimes it helps to go over there and then to come over here. Just like change your space. Yeah.
No, definitely. No, I was working at home a lot, and I was like, you know what, I need to switch it up. So I'll work in the morning, and then I eat lunch, and then I have to pick a spot. All right, just pick a spot around the area.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come here. This is where a buddy of mine lives, so I just come work here. I'll just work at the office. So just to get familiar with different areas,
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, how's business going for you? What's your focus? What does Q4 look like for you?
No, definitely. It's actually my mind mentality. I've shifted with the market shift. Wholesaling I was struggling. My marketing budget was running out, and I was like, man, my goal was to create this whole wholesale operation. And then I realized, shout out to SoulPod Miguel, we had a one-on-one talk, and he's like, hey man, we were stuck too with making a wholesale real estate business. And so we were just so focused on that we lost the actual truth of ourselves. And so you don't want wholesale to be a business. You want it to be a strategy, is what he was telling me. He's like, look at every deal. Like, could I wholesale this? Could I flip this? Could I hold this? Could I create a finances? Instead of just being wholesale operation. So I've shifted to where, all right, now I'm going to start using my license a little bit more, approaching buyers, sellers, and then still try to wholesale, but using it as an exit strategy instead of a business type where I'm like, I'm going to create acquisition managers, all this. So that's where Q4 is at right now.
I love that feedback. And you know what? You actually gave me some assurance, even though That's not. So my approach was always that is what does this opportunity like, because I make it about the seller, right? If the seller needs a listing agent, I got you. If a seller needs a creative deal because they don't have any equity, I got you. If the seller's just trying to maximize their gains, but they don't need to have all the cash right now, I got you too. And so, or if just dumping the property because they really don't need the money and it's just a headache for them, cool. So I have always looked at my business that way. And you know how Templeton says, comparison is the thief of joy. I was always like, I must be trying to do too much. I feel like it's weird that I don't want to necessarily have a wholesale business. I just want to figure out what solution does the seller need and be well-versed enough that I can provide them anything, or have enough people around me that if their solution requires an expertise that I don't have, that I feel comfortable sending them to that expert. So you actually make me feel better about myself, because I was like, oh man, maybe I wasn't thinking right about it. So I really do appreciate you sharing that. And so did you cold plunge this morning? Was it this morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was this morning.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see that I didn't see advertising for it until literally 11 p.m. last night when I was finishing up some LOI stuff. And I was like, oh man, I can't get up to be there at 7 a.m. So yeah.
No, definitely. No, it was a last minute. Miguel was just like, hey, anyone wants to come out to SoulPod headquarters and do a cold plunge?
Yeah.
Come out. And so it wasn't really a meetup. It was more just like everyone come hang out, do a cold plunge.
Oh, I see.
Cool. Get to see, meet other people.
That is cool. I'm so glad. So how can we help you with your business, Gabe? How can we do business?
That's a good question. I'm trying to see, for me, I have been pitching more of the seller finance to direct to seller. Mm-hmm. Maybe I see you're all the time calling agents on MLS. That's probably something that I struggle with. And I don't know if I told you, I did try sometimes to give calls to agents, and I'm like, hey, would your seller be open to terms? Hang up. Or, okay, am I pitching it wrong? What am I saying wrong? Or so just talking to agents in general, for me, I don't know, I have a struggle with that, even though I'm an agent myself. And so that's something that maybe I could, just looking at your lives, and it's like yesterday I was on your live and I'm just hearing you, I'm like, okay, this is how she talks to agents. And so it's interesting. That's why I'm glad you're doing that, because it helps me out.
Oh, I love it. I'm glad it's bringing you value. Yeah, I think what I have found is that I like to get them on my level, and that we have, we're very tribal. We're tribal people just in general. So if you have your license and I have my license, hey, we're in the same tribe. So I think if you bring that up much sooner with agents, if you're a licensed agent, find those commonalities. If you're not a licensed agent, but you're an investor, then you just do it differently. You say, oh, how long have you been in real estate? Oh, X amount. Yeah, I've been in real estate for the last year. Well, guess what? Now we're in the same tribe. We've both been in real estate, and now we have something in common. So I try to find things a little bit more in common, build that rapport much earlier in the conversation. I say I'm an investor and I'm an agent, so that I'm bringing a level of credibility to the conversation. So, yeah. So cool. I'm so glad that it's been valuable. That's all I want. I don't want to waste people's time. So
no, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Mimi, she said, why would an agent ghost you and not want to do creative deal? That's what I thought in my head after it happened to me twice. I'm like, okay. Why would an agent, property's been on the market for 60 days? Is it because they're getting a bunch of calls already with people saying that? That could be it.
Yeah.
So,
you just made me think about something. So as an agent, I didn't know squat about creative finance. And by the way, I see my special guest has joined, so we're going to have him come on pretty soon. But, and so maybe we need to put a flyer together, some sort of collateral, to say, hey, here's how it works. I would love if I had the marketing to put a little video together so that people
Yeah.
understand, just maybe in a minute or two, like, hey, how does this work? And then another point of reference is in the HUD. So on the HUD, on line, like, I don't remember, like 15 or something like that, it actually says subject to existing loan. So like, and then you say what that amount is if that's
Yeah.
an actual exit. So definitely legal, definitely on the up and up, but it's just a matter of educating our agents so that they know there's other ways they can help their sellers. So
For sure.
all
I
right.
appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you letting me be on the live. I'll talk to you soon. Definitely, we have to go golfing.
Yes, we do. All right. Thanks,
Okay.
Gabe.
Alrighty. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Have a good one.
All right. So we are asking our special guest to join. Hey.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
Ah. Yeah, Vince, totally. It does sound like a scam. That's why I'm like thinking we need to make a quick cartoon video of like, what does creative finance mean? But on stage, kind of, sort of, right, on Instagram Live, is Stephen Hunt, who is of the Hunts.
Hey.
So just wanted to talk down or talk and break down the Florence flip, which we closed today. Whoop, whoop. And sort of, maybe what are your top 3 takeaways on how this went, and then, just to like. And I also want to break down some of the manufactured home requirements that some people might not be aware of, that I think they should take note at the beginning part of their journey with it, instead of towards the end, as we discovered on some of the things that we had to kind of, solution towards. So anywho, so how are you? How's business?
It's going well, just staying extremely busy all over town all the time. I'll be in Wickenburg and Prescott tomorrow, and then back into the Valley. Luckily, I'll be flying there, though. My partner has a plane that we do some deals with, so he's able to fly us around to some of the more remote areas. So it makes it a fun business day.
Yeah, that is fun. Okay, what's your partner? He just joined SubTo, right?
Yeah, Alan Underwood.
Yeah, that's right. So cool. I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much. He's developing some pretty cool things too, so that'll be fun to talk about.
Oh, wonderful. That's so amazing. It's so funny because we're in like unique positions to like, for people who kind of joined around the same time, or like I got to see your timeline joining SubTo, kind of where you guys were at, kind of wanting to take off and maybe not taking off as fast as like a high performance individual like you was, but then after making some key decisions in your life, it was just like boom, like I love it.
Oh, everything.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and for us it was, we're all in kind of people, Angel and I both. So we knew that one of us had to do this full time for us to finally get that momentum to start going. And it felt like the month that I left my job, just a couple weeks after that, we finally got the first deal, and then they all started coming in. And then you kind of have that oh shit moment where you're like, what do? I should probably start JVing with people, which led us to do JVing this deal with you, which was so awesome. And we had such a blast doing it with you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So do you want to kind of, I'm a transparent kind of gal, so it's totally up to you how much you want to share. But and forgive me, because we also kind of took off a little. So like, if I get any details wrong, remind me. But, I know that when we first underwrote this deal, I was like, holy smokes, this is a home run. I think at the time we believed it was going to be a triple digit flip. And for triple digit flips, it's just a term for $100,000 or more. And so we were excited. Or so when you hear people say double, triple digit flip, it's like 200,000 or more. So, we were in the 100,000 when we underwrote it. And I was like, you want me to be your partner? Okay, sure. So,
That was awesome. Yeah. So if I back up on that deal too, this deal was very unique in the sense of we actually had to get this contract signed from the seller that was in the hospital. So this seller had been in the hospital for 31 days, and we actually got a call from the hospital because Angel and I come from the medical field.
Mhm.
So we started networking a lot with the hospitals and the medical system in order to help their patients out and in these really urgent, tricky situations. So we get a call from the hospital and they say, hey, this woman needs to move out. She needs full-time care. She can't go back home.
Mhm.
Can you help her? She should have been here for 2 to 3 days. It's day 31 and we need to discharge her because as a hospital, we are losing money. We need to open up these beds. So that's exactly what we did, and we ended up going in. We fronted the cash for her to get moved out and transferred to the community and the home that she needed to be in for the care she needed.
Mhm.
And then on the back end, we reached out to Ingryd and Mark, and they were able to raise the private funds to actually completely purchase this house. For those of you that don't know, when it comes to manufactured homes, it's a lot trickier to get lending on them. There's lenders that will do it, but it's a lot trickier. And a lot of lenders don't want to put money up for that. So Ingryd and Mark were able to find those funds and secure them in like a day.
Yeah.
It was craziness.
I have some people up my sleeve. Yeah.
And I think we actually ended up closing on this officially when we were out of state, both of us. We were in Vegas.
Yes. Clever Summit.
Officially closed.
Yeah. Oh my God. It has been forever. Okay.
It was a long time.
Yeah. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, that was in April. Why does it feel like it was a lifetime ago? Just so much has happened this year.
So much has changed. It's been such a roller coaster too.
Yeah.
So I think this June came to an end. After that is when we started to see really those interest rates go up and everything kind of started to slow down.
Yeah.
So definitely, and I know we were holding our breath on this one too because it was supposed to be a triple digit flip. But of course, and many lessons that we've learned throughout this process, we didn't, I personally at least did not manage cruise as well as I should have. And I learned a lot from that. And I'm grateful for that experience because without it, I wouldn't know how to do that at a higher level. But that ended up taking our triple digit flip down to, a measly $70,000 net profit,
Measly, as you know, measly. Yeah. So a couple takeaways there. One of the things that Pace says, and I always say now, is you know how they say the ABCs are always be closing. I think the ABCs have changed a little. Not only ABC always be closing, but it's also ABR always or ABRC always be raising capital. And then I think the other one I said is always be marketing, ABM. So those are my new AB instead of the C's always, because from a real estate investor's perspective, those are the things that are really going to help you scale. So if people don't know who you are, what value you bring, you're not marketing yourself well enough. If you haven't created good relationships where people can trust you to help them grow their money, you haven't been raising capital. And then obviously always be closing. It just really means you know your stuff enough to be able to deal structure, see how you can provide seller values, seller's value, and how you can help other people as well. So I'm just so impressed with you, by the way, Stephen, you and Angel. But I've just seen what I'm sure maybe your coworkers have experienced with you. We're like, wow, this guy knows his stuff. But it's like transverse into the real estate world, and you can always, not always, I can see when somebody was a high performer and like continue, and that's just the way you operate. So I'm very thankful to have you in my sphere, just because I'm super impressed by you, by your professionalism, and again, like I said before, I'll partner with you guys anytime. So
thank you so much. And this is the second deal we got together too. So
yeah, it's true.
And there's many more to come. And things like I was saying, like Mark, we're just very grateful that we had that opportunity to be able to partner up with you and get to see how each other work. And I was definitely a little bit more involved when it came to that front end of things, when it came to just getting it locked up and then managing part of the cruise. And then you guys really just knocked it out of the park when it came to getting it listed, finding the buyers, doing all of those things. I feel like that was so quick and so well done. And every issue that we ran into with vendors or anything like that, you had that handled immediately. And I would have been like, what do I do? Who do I call? What's going on?
Yeah. So let's backtrack a little. So part of our partnership was, hey, can you find the funding for this, right? So my and Mark's role in the beginning was being the bank, right? Like, hey, I have the private money for the acquisition, and hey, we'll give money for the remodel based on what we originally thought the cost should be. So we incorrectly, I'll say, so that was one of the things. So if you have a deal and you're taking down a deal, and if your property is in a more remote or rural area, know who you're staffing and then get everything in writing if somebody who's not from that area is agreeing to do the job, because that was our biggest challenge. Our biggest challenge was we hired a contractor. We had everything in writing about what that contractor was going to produce, inclusive of a timeline. But the other piece that we weren't able to kind of put together is making sure that they had the staff to be able to go and do as they said they were going to do.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that was challenging because I'm in Gilbert, and it was an hour away from me, and I was more east. So if anybody lived any more centrally located, it was going to be even further away from them. So that was, and that's why I say it's such a good lesson to learn in that sense too, because if I could do it all over again, I'd probably find a crew that is definitely a lot closer where they can stay out there, and that communicates better too. One of the big issues we ran into was obviously crews would go out there and they'd say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not driving this far. And then they'd never come back. And then 2 weeks, 3 weeks go by. We're like, why has nothing changed? And we get frustrated and we get mad. And then we have to communicate that to the GC as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Oh my gosh, your mom just joined. Do you know how much I love your mom? She doesn't know it, but I'm totally her fangirl. Like, I follow her Insta, and I'm really trying, really honestly, to get up with the light because she knows her stuff. Anyways, I love your mom.
One of the smartest people I know, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that was our struggle. So we learned identify where that support for those contractors is coming from, and make sure that it's aligned with that vision. Can we talk about the initial mistake too about the contractor in terms of payment? So I don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm completely transparent.
Okay, perfect. All right. And again, we're newbies. So yeah, if everybody out there understands, like, hey, don't make these mistakes. Let us make them for you and make sure that you guys do it better. So one of the things that we learned at the time, and by the way, we had a great relationship with this contractor. So there wasn't a reason for us to doubt what he was conveying to us in terms of payment. And we understood that the property was really far away. So part of that swayed our, that persuaded us in making the okay to be like, okay, we'll pay him more upfront than we normally would somebody else. And that was a mistake. Yeah.
It absolutely was, because what you typically want to do is you want to make sure that the work is completed before you're paying your contractors. And that's not the way that this scenario worked out. This was giving larger lump sums up front so that all the materials could be ordered and then taken down there all at once. But when the work stops and things aren't getting completed, you still have all that money tied up if you have all that money in materials. And the materials aren't at the house either. They are still sitting in a warehouse waiting to go to the house. So you show up and you have a fully demoed house, and basically your whole rehab budget is gone. And you're like, what's going on? Am I going to be on the hook for this?
Yep.
So it wasn't the right way to do it. And again, huge lesson learned.
Yep. Yeah. And so we had a recent flip, and what we're doing now is anywhere between 20 and 30%. We're okay for upfront for some of those larger costs that are, in the beginning. And then everything else is on a draw schedule. So every week there has to be progress or there will be no check. So once we better understood that, that's the way we've been running our crews now. Like, we will inspect, there will be updates, more or less of what we expect, and then the payment will go through. So that was a big learning lesson for us. So
absolutely, and we're doing the same exact thing actually that you're doing there. So we're not getting much up front. We're still doing a little bit larger of an initial down payment just so they can order the materials that they need to for just the basic getting started. But again, make sure that work's moving along, because there's not going to be any checks. We have to take the draws out from the hard money companies that we're working with and those lenders before we move to the next phase. So it has to be done. The other thing too is, and this actually happened at Florence, and I didn't make a big stink about it, but I make a big stink about it usually, is make sure if whatever finishes you're putting into a place, that you are clarifying that with your contractor if they're the one that's going to be ordering it. Because, for example, I know it's something small and stupid, but these cabinets had brushed nickel hardware on them when I had said that we were going to do matte black, because I like the matte black, sink matte black finishes to go along with some of the lighter colors that we use in these houses. So when it doesn't show up the way it's supposed to, or if you're not communicating that correctly with your contractor, they're just going to pick whatever they think would be best. And 99% of the time, you're not going to be happy with the selections that they make.
Oh my God, amen. I won't call it out. We have a property that I'm not a fan of the floor. And I said, oh, I trust you. You know what's happening. And I was like, oh my God, I hate these floors. But, it is what it is. And we just move on. So, yeah.
I'm always double, triple checking all of those things. Mm-hmm. That's why sometimes it can be nice if you have a crew that's a little bit more hands off and they want you to purchase the materials. It can suck because the volume you can do really slows down, but at least you know everything that's going into the project. And you know exactly what the style and design is going to be without any hesitation. Because there are times where still to this day I'll show up and I'm like, well, I didn't know we were picking out floating shelves, and why is that one, this weird plasticky color that looks terrible? Get that out of here.
Yeah. Look at you talking like a flipper. My goodness. So.
Oh my God, who would have thought?
Awesome sauce. So, okay, so that's that. And there was a prolongedness. And as a result of that, we missed our mark where we could have been at the peak. Right? Our goal was really, hey, anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, because this was an easier flip, really very cosmetic. And how long did we take?
Oh, I think it was 13, 14 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. So
it was supposed to be 3 to 4 weeks, and it took 3 to 4 months, literally. Which
That's
was
right.
nuts.
Yeah. Oh, look at that, Angel. 10 flips this year so far and still buying. Right on. Yeah, I think we were at 9. Cool.
Yeah. I think it's a total of 11 houses, and then we're on 12 and 13 that we're hoping to acquire in the next week or so.
Yes.
So that'll bring us right past our goal. We've tried to do 12 this year.
Really? Oh my gosh. I really didn't have a goal to do this many flips. Going back to the conversation I was talking with Gabe, I was just like, I'm ready to receive whatever the universe is willing to provide. Because my goal was just, how do I solve sellers' problems? And if I'm in a position to flip, or if I'm in a position to wholesale, or, whatever it is, that's what I'll do. So.
Yeah. And that's it. So I think it's fun. A lot of people that are new that get into this, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
Or I used to do all the time. What was that?
I'm laughing because Mark said Ingrid mentions your mom a couple times a week. Like I said, I totally fangirl your mom. So.
Oh my gosh. Oh, she's still in here listening. That's funny. But regardless, it's funny because I'll talk to people, and I had the same mentality on this. I was like, I'm not a fiction flipper. I don't want to be a fiction flipper. I just want to buy and hold properties. That's all we're going to do, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And I was cornering myself into this position where I'm like, I can only do this one thing, and I'm only going to do things that take me in that direction, is that one thing. Mm-hmm. So when I kind of stopped that, and I just started, like you said, almost letting the universe choose, I now look at the deal, I look at what the seller needs, and I go, okay, let's look at this. Can I make this work for the seller? Yes or no? Okay, yes, I can. Now, does this work for me? And what exit strategies do I have available if I make this work for the seller? Yeah. And that's all it's turned into.
You just gave me goosebumps, for reals. I honestly think that we can expand so much more support for sellers if that's, because I will talk to some wholesalers, and I'm like, oh man, I would have done this and that. And they're like, well, and I get it. Somebody can't be the jack of all trades. Mm-hmm. And that makes a lot of sense. Sometimes you do have to narrow your focus so you can expand your reach. That's something from the Good to Great book. But, yes. But I think when you get to a level in your career where you can be more of a jack of all trades, I really do believe we have a responsibility to it, because if our goal is to impact as many lives as we can and help as many people as we can, we shouldn't just get education for education. We need to put it to good use. We need to execute on that. So,
Absolutely. Well, and you don't want to corner yourself either. I think it's good to try these things. People that don't want to do fix and flips, I totally get it. It didn't sound fun to me either. Now I do them, but also a lot of times, like I do burgers as well, and I got into the fix and flips because I was doing the burger to begin with, and that's when I was like, well, if I just got this place, I already know how to do a fix and flip, so I might as well just do it. So we intentionally gut almost every single house that we get now, because we just want to make sure that when it's actually game time, and like now the market we're moving into now, you really need to know your numbers. You really need to know what you're doing. You're not going to appreciate 20 grand while you're in the middle of construction. It's just not going to happen anymore. It's going to depreciate probably. So you know those things. And now we've done enough of these this year to where I'm like, I've done light rehabs that took 2 weeks. I've done hefty rehabs that have taken, 4, 5, 6 months. And maybe they shouldn't have taken that long, but that's another story. But regardless, at the end of the day, I'm not scared from those deals now. So when things come my direction, when I go, oh man, that wall needs to be moved, maybe it's not a deal for me, I'll just wholesale it. I'm not going to be scared from it. I know that I can make more money if I flip that or count it.
Good for God. Wow. What a powerful phrase you just said. I'm no longer scared. Like, you're empowered by your experience. And that's so amazing. I love it.
Absolutely. And that's how you build confidence. You got to prove things to yourself. But ask something or prove it to yourself.
Yeah. You got to put your RAS out there.
Oh,
your reticular activating system. Your mom knows a little something about that. So, right on. Well, Stephen, I thank you so much for joining. I think we're going to get a couple of agent calls. So tell us, how can we help you with your business before we let you go?
Oh man, how you can help me with my business? Oh wow, private money. If anybody knows any private money lenders that wants to lend, always be raising capital. I think is what you said in the beginning. That is accurate. I would say that, and then just if you have deals, if you're looking to offload anything, I'm happy to purchase it. Me and Angel would love to purchase it. I'm sure Ingryd and Mark would love to JV those with us too. So
for sure, absolutely. So what I heard you say is you're still buying.
Oh, absolutely.
Right on. That's cool. Because
as long as everybody says it, as long as the numbers are right, but truly, as long as the numbers are right, let's look at what the old ARV was. Let's reduce that to what we think the new market conditions are going to be, and then let's start our calculations from there. That's where we're doing everything now.
So what are you typically reducing now then?
So typically I'm doing, depending on the area, I'm going to do 10 to 15% reduced from the original ARV. And the original ARV is not the number when somebody paid $50,000 over the asking price. You're going to what it was listed at, and that was the top of the market, and then we're reducing 10 to 15% from there. And then all of our calculations, I know this is going to sound crazy to some people, but we do 77% of ARV minus repairs minus $20,000. That's how we calculate every single deal that we do. Oh,
fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you, Michael. By the way, Michael just said you and I are rock stars. I appreciate that. Michael is also a rock star. He helps helps a lot of folks in that space where they're transitioning into maybe long-term care, that sort of thing. And so they auction those properties, things like that. We have somebody say, do you buy land? I help disposition land. So if you have if you have land deals that you want to have looked at and see if we have buyers, absolutely DM me. Do you do land?
I will do land now that I have a partner that is developing. So my partner is developing a multifamily unit that's a little over 100 units. So he is very familiar with how to get those things done.
Yeah.
Correctly, how to get the permits, how to do it all. So we're definitely open to that. As long as the land is in the right areas, we're definitely open to it, but we can also help disposition those things. Ingryd's probably honestly better at disposition than we are, considering we just finished our first wholesale deal today. So.
No. Oh, you did? Congratulations. I know Angel was asking about that.
I meant just to know it because we have no buyers list.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, are you still there? Sorry, there was some kind of like clickiness.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Perfect.
They asked what somebody's asking what's your market from the land. Definitely Arizona. We are both in Arizona, so send us your Arizona land deals for sure. All right. Well, Stephen, continued success. I can't wait until the new baby is here. Baby. Yeah. When is when the angel due date? Are you guys sharing that?
Yeah, she's due March 4th.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we just hit the halfway mark, so we're like, oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. Cool. Well,
So
congrats to you and Angel. Ongoing success, and I can't wait for us to partner in the next one.
Absolutely. Great to see you, Ingryd. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye now.
Bye.
Right on. Oh, my contractor's calling. And I am on the live, so I can't answer. All right, guys. So that was Stephen. Like I said, we did a flip together. We're going to do maybe 1 or 2 calls to agents, and I have to call it a little bit early today. Got to pick my daughter up from soccer practice and all kinds of stuff. All right. So again, why are we doing this? Why are we trying to provide value for you all this week? We are raising money for Latinos Contra Cancer. As I'm told, we may have raised at least $1,000 we were looking for, so that I can give away the entry fee calculator and let's see here. The entry fee calculator and the LOI template. Oh, we are to 1,004. Awesome. I'm so happy. My ultimate goal is to raise $5,000, but this week my main goal was to raise 1,000. So I appreciate everybody who's donated. Definitely super excited. All right, let's bring that good energy to our next call with an agent. Let's see here. So cool. I'm sure one of my good friends, Vanessa Ramirez, DQ, I see you in the comments. I have somebody who I need you to connect with out in New Mexico who needs your help, as he was trying to sell his property that now has title issues. So hoping that maybe you can help him. So I'm going to send him your info, if that's okay. Daniel Quijano. All right, let's see here. Making a call to an agent who's had a property for sale for 75 days. And what? I like the stove.
Hi there, this is Jody Holmes, broker associate with West USA Realty. Thank you so much for your call.
We'll follow up on that one. We are looking to be on the phone with agents. Okay, let's see here. This looks like a flipped house. With flip homes, I hesitate. Yep, this is an open door property, and it just doesn't say open door. Wonder if now it's just like a bad word, if it's like in the public listing information, if it says open door. Oy. All right. I'm not an agent, though. I wonder if there was a delay. Did I say something about that? I don't know. You don't have to be an agent. I do recommend you go get your license. I don't think it detracts. I think it only puts more tools in your toolbox. What's wrong with open door? They just have a lot of properties aging on the market.
Kevin here.
Hey, Kevin. This is Ingryd Hernandez. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I see that you have a property on Rural in Guadalupe. Do you have time to talk about it?
Yeah, I just took it off the market again. He's got something won't be able to close for 6 months, so put it on hold for a while.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, do you have anything else that might have been on the market for a while? I'm both an investor and an agent, but I'm looking for opportunities with maybe creative finance.
No, nothing like that. Not yet, anyway. I expect so in about a few months.
You expect some? Okay, so maybe I should follow up with you and see what you get coming your way?
Yeah, well, just send me your contact information and verify that you're a realtor and investor, and I'll add you that way.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate you taking the call.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, there was some sort of issue with this house. He's willing to send me other opportunities if I can prove that I'm an investor. Do I send him my HUDs? As they say, if you don't have HUDs, you're a dud, right? Oh, only squat up with people with HUDs is really where that came from. All right, here we go. Ooh, this one, seller's offering some credit. That's always good. That means there's some motivation there. So if you ever see like sellers wanting to offer credit, maybe you see the term motivated seller in the description. Those are generally speaking like good ones to go after because they might be more willing to play ball. Okay, this is a 3-2 with a bonus room, which is called a bedroom plus, by the way, in the MLS, meaning they have like an extra room that it's considered an extra room. So while we're calling, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And again, Open Door, yeah, too many properties on the market. They're all aging. They're reducing.
Hello, it's Donnie.
Hey, Donnie. My name is Ingryd Hernandez. I'm calling about your property on Rutgers University. Are you available?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. The reason for my call is I am not only an agent, but I'm also an investor. And
Gotcha.
I love to buy properties through creative finance. I'm wondering if you believe your seller might be open to hearing an offer that would include leaving their mortgage in place.
Interesting. I'm actually not aware of something like this either. So what exactly does that entail?
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Hopefully I'm actually opening up the Red Sea here.
Yeah.
So when I was a real estate agent only, I had no idea that there was something called subject to. That's just like the short way of saying subject to the existing mortgage. And so what you can do is leave that mortgage in place. And then if the sellers have any equity, you can write their equity into a second lien position and then pay them on their equity to cash flow or even maybe if it's like a short-term scenario. It's like some houses need fixing and flipping. Like I bought a house in Round Rock, Texas, where we left their mortgage in place and we promised to refinance out in less than a year so that we can actually fix the house, flip it and sell it. But in case we need to refinance because we don't get a seller, we have the opportunity to do that too. So it's just a way to leverage debt differently. And as you know, with rates being so high, even a loan on a house is more lucrative than the actual house. So,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I honestly, this is news to me, and I'm just wrapping up an appointment now. But maybe there's another time we can connect on this and talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%. Does sometime tomorrow work for you?
It does. Usually so let's see. Let me look at my calendar. I'm pretty good about that. Thursday. So I will be free at 10:30 a.m.
Awesome. So how about I text you and see if that's still a good time to talk? And I would love to talk to you about this opportunity just because I think it's a great opportunity, especially if anybody's got aged listings, but they have really amazing loans behind them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. If we can make something work for them and help them, all the better. So thank you for calling, and I'll look forward to talking with you tomorrow.
Fantastic. Thanks, Donnie.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well. It's not so bad. Sometimes I mess up because I'm so used to being an agent that I call like an agent, right? Like, hey, I'm Ingryd Hernandez. I'm like ready to say from Real Brokerage because that's my brokerage. I forget to say, like, oh, hey, this is Ingryd. I'm just a local investor who blah, blah, blah. Like, I formalize it a little too much, not on purpose, but I can't help it. It's second nature to me. So cool. Well, I do want to end it on a good note. We've got two good notes to end it today. One is we raised at least $1,000 for Latinos Contra Cancer. So we are 20% of my goal completed. We have 80 days left to raise another $4,000. So I appreciate everybody who's donated. Seriously, I thank you so much. You don't understand, these resources are going to go to people who really need them, who are in desperate situations, that need abilities to feel safe and secure and not worry about money as they're getting cancer treatment and things like that. Those are the types of resources Latinos Contra Cancer provides. And so grateful for that organization that does so much for the Latino community. And then the other good note is Donnie, what an amazing agent. Like, hey, let's talk tomorrow. I didn't even know that this is an option. So hopefully we're able to solve his seller's problems. And maybe by tomorrow, we have a little contract. Who knows? Let's see. I also have a couple of follow-ups from folks who've asked me about the LOIs I sent. So excited about that. And yeah, thank you everybody for joining. If you have any questions, DM me. Happy to help you with anything. Again, send me your creative finance deals. I'm definitely a buyer. Would love to work with you if possible. And have a good one. Thanks, Zero YouTube.